Ulysses S. Grant is one of the great figures of the 19th century. Graduate of West Point, fought in the Mexican War. He became president in 1869, and in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, in 1861, he won his first victory in the Civil War. Ulysses S. Grant was born in poverty in Point Pleasant, Ohio in 1822 and had no money to go to college, so his father then arranged for him to go to West Point. He participated in the Mexican War after he graduated from West Point in 1843 and then had a period in between the Mexican War and the Civil War where he was sort of down and out. Eventually, in 1858 and 59, he moved up to Galena, Illinois, where his father had started the leather shop. And so Grant went up there and for about 3 years worked tanning cowhides, a job he detested. During that time, he met Elihu B. Washburn, the senator from the state of Illinois, also from Galena. And Ulysses S. Grant was appointed as an officer over the 21st Illinois Regiment at the direction of Elihu B. Washburn. And during that time period, there was a young officer from Quincy, Illinois, named Benjamin Prentiss. And both Grant and Prentiss were appointed brigadier generals in the U.S. Army on May 17, 1861. Washburn, passing information on from Henry Halleck in Washington, D.C., directed Ulysses Grant to go to Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and assume command of all of the available men, organize them, train them, and then move to Columbus, Kentucky, so that the Confederates could not launch an attack into Missouri. Benjamin Prentiss, who was taking his orders from John C. Fremont, and John C. Fremont sent Benjamin Prentiss instructions to go to Cape Girardeau, Missouri, gather up all of the available men, and move to Columbus, Kentucky. These two guys had the very same orders from two different officers, and so both of them moved to Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Grant came down by river with instructions from Henry Halleck. Same day that Prentiss reached Jackson, Grant took a room on the 4th floor of the St. Charles Hotel, right downtown, very close to what is now the corner of Main and Themis. Benjamin Prentiss spent the night in Jackson. And the next morning, Ulysses S. Grant said he wanted to get up and go see Benjamin Prentiss and get him incorporated into his staff and prepare for the march down to Columbus, Kentucky. When Grant said he got on his horse to ride to Jackson to see Prentiss, and as he did, he went down Lorimer Street, and he saw at the next intersection, which would be today's Broadway and Lorimer, he saw this contingent of soldiers. He said, "That must be Prentiss." And the two ran together there, and Grant suggested they go back to his room at the St. Charles and talk about what they're going to do to get ready to go to Columbus, Kentucky. Grant said, "Well, we don't need to go upstairs. There's a tent. Let's go in this tent right here at the foot of the courthouse hill." And Benjamin Grierson, who was later a great cavalry officer in the Civil War, said he was there with Grant and Prentiss. Grierson suddenly realized that Grant and Prentiss are going to have a dispute over command. Grierson described, rather detailed fashion, that Prentiss and Grant got into a shouting match, some obscenities involved. Prentiss got really agitated and said, "I'll tell you what I'm going to do, General Grant. I'm going back to St. Louis and see Fremont, and I will get this straightened out, and I'll be back, and you will be working for me, and you'll be a part of my staff." Grant said, "You just go right ahead." So they separated, not very amicably. Prentice went back to St. Louis to see Fremont. In the meantime, he's unaware that Fremont has been dismissed from his post. So when Prentice gets back to St. Louis, there is no Fremont. There's no one who can protect him. In the meantime, Grant takes the army, organizes all of the unemployed men, and marches on to Columbus, Kentucky. Grant will end up being the 18th President of the United States. That whole career move started in Cape Girardeau. Prentice ended his career as the postmaster in Bethany, Missouri, in the far northwestern corner of the state of Missouri. A big difference between the two. That difference was distinguished by what happened in Cape Girardeau in August of 1861.